sunrise in my eyes, just like a new day, a breath of fresh air in my life. I don't know how, don't know why, but I'll be toasting all my life.
Here in Cumberland County, it's an excellent place to produce maple syrup. There's a certain terroir with the food that we produce here. The maple syrup is an excellent example of the heritage dating back centuries of food that's produced in this region. This region of the world has been recently recognized as a UNESCO designated geographical and geoheritage region for both our natural beauty and the products that come from this area. And maple syrup is an excellent example of a food from this region that has a heritage and tradition that's extremely interesting and unique. As far as I know, the earliest production of maple syrup would have been indigenous. The Mi'kmaq people would have harvested maple and traded it with settlers in the 1600s, 1700s. My family came to this farm, fifth generation, would have most definitely been harvesting and producing maple syrup as one of the many tasks of the diverse farm activities. But probably in the late 1800s, we've got into what would maybe be considered the modern maple production techniques. So the Acadians would have definitely been shown how to produce maple syrup from the Mi'kmaq people. And they would have made the maple syrup with mostly the focus of making sugar, which is a very difficult process, but the maple sugar would store quite readily. And not until later years did maple syrup become the storage medium of maple products. The earlier settlers to Canada would have found it very expensive to import cane sugar from around the world, and maple syrup made into maple sugar would have been an easier task. My name's Bill Davison, owner of Newville Farm and seasonal restaurant, Davison's Pancake House. We are located near Parrsburn, Nova Scotia, on the backside of Newville Lake. I got into maple syrup production as a child with my uncle Kerwin and my dad Charles Davison. We did maple syrup on the farm, and we developed a local gathering, a pancake house, and we continued that tradition till today. Our farm produces maple syrup from about 10,000 tap trees each year on about 270 acres of land, and we produce about a liter per tree, and we produce maple syrup from that, and we have a facility where we produce the maple syrup, and visitors can come and visit us and experience the taste and smells of the maple syrup, and really to celebrate the traditional maple season. And in our restaurant, we invite visitors in to experience the maple taste and the celebration of maple each spring. My son, myself, and my wife have various roles at the Pancake House and the maple production facility we have here. My son handles the reverse osmosis and maple evaporator. My wife is the hostess for the Maple Pancake Restaurant, and myself, I gather the sap and make sure everything runs smoothly. And most importantly, get to talk to visitors, maybe talk too much at times. There are hundreds of different types of maple trees around the world. In this region, sugar maple is predominant, with a few red maples and silver maples mixed in. They can all be tapped, but the sugar maple is really what we're after because of its high yield of sugar. Harvesting the maple syrup has changed over the years, and it's a little bit difficult to get in the woods to harvest the maple. In the old days, they would have moved their operations in the woods to be handy to the buckets they collected. But nowadays, with the advent of pipes and tubing, we have to really get deep in the bush, so to speak. And the only way to do that would be with snowshoes and to be quite light and float above the snow in a rather elegant way, I would say. There's three things I love the most about maple syrup production. One is getting out in the woods in the springtime and the smell of the maple syrup being produced, the taste of the maple syrup, and the differences of the taste throughout the season. You know, nothing's better to me than seeing a guest experience the maple flavors and taste and feel that taste of spring, so to speak. Maple syrup in Cumberland County ranks amongst the world's best, and it is because of this range of soil types, the range of climate, and I feel it's most importantly said that in this region, in Cumberland County, we have a tremendous range of tastes throughout the season, each and every year, and enable us to make some really unique blends of maple syrup and really to capture the essence of the maple experience. I think people should support maple producers and small operations within Cumberland County. Personally, they could experience all the taste and flavors and really celebrate in that yearly maple production tradition.
I'm the Ripley owner and manager of Maple Woods. I was born in June and I was in the Sherwoods the next spring. I don't think I was much help, but I do have those memories of the Maple Woods, and it just grew and grew and grew till I got old enough to do it myself. Well, my family been making maple syrup in the Cumberland area since probably the 1880s, somewhere along there. Well, my father and mother, they always made maple all my life, and long before I was born. Then I was here when I was a few months old, but then here every year since. I'm the one that built this camp new in 1980 was my first season at this new camp. But it's the same woods, same trees, everything basically the same. And my father was born in 1907, and he was carried out alongside the Bath Burgers. That's his first memory. So that'd be when my grandfather was running it. And that's all in this area, woods. And I was born in '52, and I was here in '53. I just got it in my blood, and that was all my interest was maple. We make it here, and we got an outlet here that we sell. And then we go to a Halifax farmers market since way back. '89, I think, was the first year my brother started going. Then I'm still going. So we tap around about 16,000 trees, and we make about 1,500 gallons of maple syrup from that. Well, the pipeline stays up from one year to the next, but then we got to go all over it before the season for leaks, damages, trees over it, anvil problems, and have it ready to go tapping by about the 1st of February. And a lot of our summer work is in the early part of the winter just used up the cutting firewood for the boilers, and then summertime we do a lot of silviculture work, cutting the thorn trees out, bushes, dogwood, firs, everything except maples. We burned in the average around 80 cord in 6 weeks. First thing you do, you get your drill and you got to drill a new hole in the tree, away from all the old holes, so you got good new wood, and then tap the file in and keep going up and down the woods till you get it all drilled and tapped. That'll take, close to 3 weeks probably. We make in Cumberland County because we live here, and it's the right weather conditions to do it. You've got to have freezing nights, -5, and probably +5 in the daytime. You want perfect temperatures, but it varies. Well, after the sap starts running, everything is on pipes, little pipes through the tree, bigger pipe, and then they all end up here at the camp. We run a vacuum system that's with a suction on all the lines, and they all connect it to the trees and to the sites here at the camp. Well, after in the tanks, then it's filtered and then goes through the reverse osmosis that takes out about 80% of the water. When the sap comes from the tree, it's very watery. It's only probably won't average much more than 2%. So that means you've got to have 40, 50 liters to make 1 liter of maple syrup. A reverse osmosis is a machine that separates the maple from the water, and water come out one side that is no more good, and the concentrate, we call it, is the more mapley stuff. After it's concentrating into the tank up overhead, it comes down gravity into the boilers. Then it's head up and boiled, and the steam come off, and that's what takes the rest of the water out of it, and we keep it there until it's syrup. So we do it. The boiler is all wood fired. That's where we burn the 80 cord of wood in the 6 weeks is firing. The fires are very hot. I wouldn't have no idea how hot they actually are. We just keep them hot as we possibly can get burning wood. But the syrup itself will start as sap is concentrate is only room temperature, and when it's syrup, 219 Fahrenheit. Well, you can take a dipper, dip in it, and let it run out, and watch how the last little bit come out, and it start hanging sticky, gobbing off. Then it's really close. Then you test the rest of it. After we get it into syrup, we filter it and everything. Then the biggest part is sold as syrup in jugs of all sizes, from the 250 to a 4 liter. But then the rest is made into cream, butter, sugar, and maple taffy. What quality of syrup we make in this area, I think it'll stand up to competition for anywhere else. It's a very sweet maple taste. Well, it's why you should support maple juicers from Cumberland County. You are helping your neighbors out, and a Canadian product that you can get at your back door. And we enjoy all the people that come, taste it, and buy it, and look around, see how it's made. We got a different calling card. We got a water wheel that produces power, electricity, and I always tell everybody I got the newest power and the oldest power. So I got water wheels, and the solar runs the whole house, no hydro, no generator, just the sun feeds it, and that runs our house and all the lights in the maple camp. This is my 55 years coming up that I have made basically on my own. Took over from my father, and we both looked at it right first. And he was later in life when I was born, so them years didn't last too long, working together. Well, why we like it here, we don't have no traveling, get to look, and it's a family thing. My daughter, my granddaughter, and my great-granddaughter, she's pretty young yet, but she's always here to help. And I guess that's why we like the maple so much.
My name is Tracey Bowden. I was Ripley originally. Neil is my dad. I have great admiration for him. He is one of the hardest working men I've ever met. He gets up in the morning and he goes every day. It does not matter. He was originally a farmer. Maple is farming business. Doesn't matter if it snows, doesn't matter if it storms. Work has to be done. There are no storm days. So it doesn't matter what's taking place. He's on it. He's great. My favorite part of being here in the Sugar Woods is that I get to be with my family. When my granddaughter was little, she came to work with me every day. Because of that, she loves the maple business also. My favorite part is in the sugar room, making products and selling. I love to see people. I love to see the customers that come. We have very pleasant customers, which is nice. There's very rarely anyone that ever comes around that's not in a good mood. Like, they're happy to be here, they're excited, they want to see the water wheel, they want to buy products. It's a pleasant place to be. Our Sugar Woods is located here in Cumberland County. We are a mile from the pavement. It's a beautiful walk. Some people do drive, but we're more than happy for you to arrive however you wish. We have people that actually come on horses sometimes. So, you know, like, just come, shop local, please. We need people to shop local. Our family business is a very joint effort. My dad is the big boss. He's the one that calls the shots. He tells us well, I tell him what needs to be made and he does it. But he is the main guy. I keep track of what needs to be cooked every day in the sugar room, and eventually I might be the big boss, I don't know. And my daughter, she helps when she can, but she works a full-time job, and she's a single mom, so my granddaughter comes and she helps. She holds the paddle for Papa, and she likes to lick the paddle at the end of the day. Dad is third generation. I'm fourth, my daughter would be fifth, and my granddaughter would be the sixth generation. If that could be possible, that would be amazing. We'll have to see what the future brings, but we definitely wouldn't want it to be anything but Ripley's, because that's who made us and that's where we are. When I see the look on people's faces when they try our product for the first time or for the 100th time, it's the same look, and it makes me feel good to know that all the hard work that's gone into everything that we produce has been worth it. Like, that's what we're here for. We're here to make people happy.
My name is Kevin McCormick. I represent McCormick's Maple. We're a family-run operation here in Rodney. My son and my wife are kind of partners in it all. And I was also previously president of the Nova Scotia Maple Producers Association. I was always involved as a young person with my neighbor's maple operation, so I had a keen interest in it. And our first year of operation here was in 1987. The family owned this woodlot for generations. It was in production for generations, but we kind of revived it in 1987. That was our first year that I personally made maple syrup here on this very same location. Our maple operation consists of 3 different wood lots. This we call our home property, and we have 2 lots remotely that we haul sap from. Our total number of taps is 35,000. We are mainly a bulk operation. There is a bit of a reason for that. Marketing syrup takes a lot of time, but also we are also equipment dealers, so we deal with a lot of the producers throughout the Maritimes. So we get a lot of respect from them for not trying to compete against them on the store shelf, and a lot of our customers do a really good job at marketing, so and some of them buy some syrup from us to fill their market, so it works well for us. Cumberland County is kind of unique. We're surrounded by water almost, other than the little isthmus between Amherst and New Brunswick. And I think the elevation here is great, the soils are great here. The weather is challenging, but works well for maple most of the time. In the last few years, we have incorporated what we call vacuum monitoring in the woodlot, and that has improved our production immensely by allowing us to pinpoint problems within the tubing systems and allowing us to fix those very quickly. Getting high production in maple is key to have high vacuum at the tree, so that the monitors have helped there. Our vacuum pumps have improved where we are able to almost achieve absolute vacuum, which is around 29 inches of mercury. So to get that to the tree is important for high production. Recently, we have switched our evaporation process from wood-fired to oil-fired. As you can see, we're sitting beside a new oil-fired evaporator here. It's allowed us to be very efficient in our boiling process and time process, which is critical. We are able to boil a lot faster, which is key. Basically, with wood, there's a start up and a stop time. With oil, it's almost instant. So we can decide to boil late in the day and maybe only boil 2 or 3 hours, whereas with wood, once you start boiling, you need it several hours in the start up and cool down. So it's a time thing for us and an efficiency thing. Innovation and technology has allowed us to improve our production improve our time, where it gives us a lot more time to spend in the woods, which is required to get the sap. It's important, of course, to get the sap to the camp. And once we get it to the camp, the new evaporators, the oil-fired evaporators, have lowered our production time by probably 25 to 30%. So we're able to spend a lot less time in the camp and a lot more time in the woods. I think Cumberland County syrup is top quality. It would rank right up there with the best in the world for sure. Again, I think our location and the soils and the climate make our syrups a little bit unique. I love making maple syrup. It's outdoors, you're in nature all the time. It's lots of exercise, lots of challenges, but I like challenges, so it's been a great adventure for us, I guess. Yeah, Cumberland County has some very unique maple operations where they're looking for tourists to come and visit, and for us it's a little bit different. We're bulk, so we kind of encourage people to go to some of our other customers, but I think there's some pretty unique and great opportunity for people to see how maple syrup is made traditionally, and they'll really enjoy it. I guess if I was to suggest to people to try maple syrup who haven't, it's a naturally made product. It's healthy. You know, the research has kind of shown that it's much better than the processed sugars, so it's good for your body, good for your health. Get out and enjoy visiting a maple operation. You're out in nature, and I know local producers will love to see you.